SMU. 18 total members, but the conference tournament remains at 15. And Georgia Tech will control. It is a Yellow Jacket team that has won 4 straight at home. NC State, meanwhile, winless away from Raleigh this season. And George right away shovels to Ibrahim Soiree, and that one rolls out. Starting lineups for NC State. Dontre Styles has been their most consistent in league play. Paul McNeil makes his 3rd straight start, had a big game last Saturday against Wake. And Jaden Taylor, who's got the ball now, at 21 against Georgia Tech last year. And that 3 by Taylor doesn't go. For Georgia Tech, Duncan Powell, career-high 26 last time out. Nathan George leading the ACC in assists, and Bai Dongo has been a double-double machine of late. Dongo down low draws the foul on Styles.
Man, he's so good down there in the post. It's really an element to his game where, you know, it's turned into his bread and butter.
You come out to a Georgia Tech practice or shoot-around, first 2 guys out always. Nathan George and Bai Dongo. And Dongo does a lot of work individually with assistant coach Bonzi Wells, who knew how to maneuver the post.
Oh, absolutely. My old guy, Bonzi, playing against him, watching him play is, he was an amazing player, and I'm sure he's given a lot of wisdom to Dongo. I mean, last time I was here, he had, his best game of his career. He had the game winner, so I'm looking forward to more play of his.
Dongo's put together 4 straight double-doubles, 6 in the last 7. In the month of February, he averaged 16 and 13.
It's really important, Kevin Keats talked about it earlier. It's really important for NC State to get off to a good start here. When they start trailing, it's tough for them to come back. So, look for them to get off to a good start.
Styles beats Dongo to the rim. He's been their guy of late, averaging 19 a game over his last 3. And some of NC State's recent losses, they got punched in the mouth early, never quite recovered. We saw it Wednesday in the game against Syracuse.
The good old Cuse, baby. We had to put it on him real quick.
Duncan Powell, too strong for 3. George able to track down the rebound.
Duncan Powell's been a great addition to this team. He can really shoot the ball. I was watching him in warm-ups, man. He was hot from the outside.
Dongo, too much. Powell powers it home.
And that's what he does, man. He's at the right place at the right time. He can knock down the open shot, but he also makes a lot of hustle plays.
They call him the shag man. He's got that low shag. He says it's a Dallas thing.
It's the Dallas swag.
You know a little something about it.
A little bit. Seen it a few times here and there.
Nice move by Ben Middlebrooks. NC State really has been trying to get more production from the 5 spot.
Well, that's a good start if that's what they're looking for.
Dongo, no. It's tipped back to Lance Terry, the team's leading scorer. Battle for the board, and it's knocked out of bounds by Soiree.
I like that shot.
Foul on Soiree, a push.
I like that shot out of Dongo, right? If he can knock that down consistently, man, he's just adding different elements to his game. You just got to keep shooting and stay confident.
Marcus Hill, NC State's leading scorer, checks into the game. He's not really an outside shooter, but he can get downhill. And Kevin Keats wanted more of a perimeter threat, so McNeil's been starting of late.
Quick sub, though.
Styles, defended by Powell. Styles the 3 from beyond the arc. 12 for his last 25 from deep.
He's hot from the outside.
One thing NC State wants to do, Kevin Keats said, we need to push the pace, play fast. NC State did not have a single fast break point in the loss to Syracuse. The 3 for Bai Dongo, just his 7th three on the season in 17 attempts.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to keep shooting them, man, especially from the corner. If he catches the ball from the corner, man, it's got to go up with no hesitation.
O'Connell. They had a great ACC tournament last year, scored in double figures in every game, had the shot against Virginia to keep the season alive in the semi. Terry pulls, left it short, comes to O'Connell. Styles, corner three. Offensive rebound, Middlebrooks. George may have gotten away with a foul. And Middlebrooks able to draw the foul.
I like the aggression.
Big scorer.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that this whole year, right? In the beginning of the year, he was a pass-first guy, really looking to get others involved, and now he's developed that scoring mentality and kind of mixing it up a little bit more. It's been a process for him, but when you got a talent like Nathan George, all it takes is for a one game for them to figure it out, and then it takes off from there.
Ben Middlebrooks at the line. Your second year at Syracuse, you made a similar jump. What goes into that?
I think it's experience. I think it's confidence. Going through hardship, going through ups and downs, and really having your teammates trust you to be, the man on the team. And kind of once that's accepted around the team and around with the coach and staff, it gets easier for a player.
Yeah, that's why there was no third year.
Exactly. Well, with this NIL, they might have had me for a third year.
That's true. He went to the NBA, goes Rookie of the Year right off the bat. Here's Nathan George. And the three rattles out. O'Connell pulls away the board. That's another area that George has improved. 47% from three over the last five. Out of bounds to the Rambling Wreck.
Substitution number 7, Bryce Hurd. NC State substitution number 1, Brandon Huntley-Hatfield.
How does Middlebrooks ever go out of bounds there? That was close.
NC State putting the pressure on him a little bit. I like it.
And NC State feels, hey, the Wolfpack have a little more depth, speed up Georgia Tech, make Nathan George work to bring the ball up. And Georgia Tech, with all the injuries they've had this season, really doesn't have any depth. They rely on four guys to do most of the scoring. Here's the freshman Hurd the other way, and he's fouled by George. And that's the other part of it for Georgia Tech. Your starters, especially your big four, they cannot get into foul trouble.
Yeah, and I've seen this happen with Nathan George. He gets in a little bit of foul trouble. On a play like that, you almost just want to put your hands straight up and just fly by, try to force them to make a tough layup. Don't use up one of your fouls, especially, you're such an important piece to this team.
Bryce Hurd, the freshman from Chicago, reclassified to join NC State a year early. Turned 18 only in October. He's one of the youngest players in college basketball. Jaden Mustaf into the game for Georgia Tech. George for Dongo. It's turned over.
I'd like to see
O'Connell. No. Missed opportunity for NC State. Up ahead. George drops it in.
I'd like to see Georgia Tech make faster plays out the pick and roll. They're holding the ball. Their guards are dribbling one too many dribbles. It's got to be right off the pick and roll, make a choice and make decisions.
3-on pass, drive, kick. Hurd with a triple, just his second of the season.
And you let the bench know all about it.
Duncan Powell. No, the follow by Dongo. He's been doing that a lot lately, crashing the glass and giving Georgia Tech second chance opportunities.
Yeah, you can see Coach Keach's frustration. You know they went over that in the scouting report. Keep him off the offensive glass. If he's able to get to the offensive glass all game, they're going to have a lot of second chance points.
And Powell picks up the foul.
His first, 4th team foul. Wolfpack substitution number 5, Trey Parker. Wolfpack substitution number 8, Jaden Taylor.
Brandon Huntley Hatfield down low. Dongo another rebound.
There you go. Quick decisions off the pick and roll. Good things happen.
Terry met by Hurd at the rim and bailed out with a foul.
Wolfpack foul charge number 7, Bronx Hurd. His first, 2nd team foul.
We keep it in Atlanta, and we welcome those of you who watched Maryland beat Notre Dame in lacrosse in a rematch of last year's national championship. Georgia Tech looking to get to 500 in ACC play. They're looking to maintain their seeding. They're currently the 8th seed as Mustaf has it knocked away. Top 9 get a first-round bye in the ACC tournament. For NC State, the situation is dire. Season on the brink. Here we are in March. NC State in the bottom 3 in the ACC. And if you're in the bottom 3 when the regular season ends, you do not make the ACC tournament. Lance Terry goes up and under. So the Wolfpack, if they want another magical Cinderella-type run here in the month of March, first they have to get into the ACC tournament. And if they lose today, their chances decrease almost exponentially.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a dogfight tonight. It's going to be a tough game, a winnable game for them. You know, they can pull it out. They just got to keep playing solid, and you know, just to try to keep their hopes alive. You know, every game is meaningful for them.
Anish Shroff, Michael Carter-Williams with you here at McCamish Pavilion. First and only regular season meeting between these two. Marcus Hill, NC State's leading scorer. He's now been coming off the bench 3 games in a row. This is a Tech team that will play its 4 main starters, all for around 35-plus minutes. George usually doesn't come off the floor. He's not on the floor right now as we get a held ball. Possession arrow, NC State.
Wolfpack substitution number 3, Dontre Styles.
So how about the rare rest for Nathan George, who in his previous 6 games had sat for a grand total of 4 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, he's making some indecisive decisions, you know, turning the ball over a little bit. I think Coach Stoudemire just wanted to get him a second, have him regroup, and come back in and play like his normal self.
Styles over Mustaf. Dongo with his 5th rebound already.
Yeah, he's controlling the glass. NC State's got to take better shots.
Dongo's knocked down 1-3 already. Terry working around the screen. Dongo wants it. Guarded by Middlebrooks, who's been prone to foul trouble. Dongo with a pretty fadeaway. Little dream shake.
Yeah, it's an NBA move right there, to say the least.
Wolfpack have missed 4 of their last 5. Parker to Middlebrooks, blocked at the rim, and a foul.
10 foul charge to number 10.
And here we go, a nice little turnaround Jimmy right there by Dongo. He's doing it all. Splack on the turnaround, love it.
This according to playoffstatus.com. And the worst case scenario, if NC State loses and Notre Dame and Cal both win later today, NC State would be eliminated from being in the ACC tournament.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a tough road for them, to make the ACC tournament, but they just got to keep winning ball games.
A year ago, this team lost 4 straight heading into the ACC tournament and then authored a legendary run, winning the ACC tournament, 5 wins, 5 days, and then getting all the way to the Final Four.
What an amazing run by them.
The cutoff line is 15. Bottom 3 in the league do not get to play in the conference tournament. Now, they won 9 consecutive elimination games last March, and it's the 1st of March, and even though it's technically not an elimination game, depending on how the results of other games impact, it certainly feels like it.
Yeah, no, this definitely, every game is super impactful for NC State, probably more than anyone else, but, like I said, you just got to go out there and play one game at a time.
Soiree back in there. He picked up 2 early fouls. Parker for NC State. Trey Parker just picked up his first. Here comes George. Dongo, 1-3 already. That one grazed the rim. Another offensive rebound. Terry using the window. Tip not there. Middlebrooks. Now it's knocked away. Terry again going at Middlebrooks for 2.
Lance Terry.
Keats disgusted with the amount of second chances and third chances Georgia Tech was getting.
Yeah, they're just getting beat to the punch right now. And when you're in a position like NC State, you really got to get every loose ball, every defensive rebound, and really crash the offensive board.
Georgia Tech already +7 on the glass. Taylor to Middlebrooks, backing down Soiree. And Middlebrooks, the tough 2. He's got 7 to lead the pack. Almost a walk by Mustaf. No good. Georgia Tech, last time out against Pitt, 0 points from the bench. Now a live ball turnover. George accelerates. He's got Terry. The 3, no good. Rebound Middlebrooks. Wolfpack want to push. Hill can't get the bounce. Comes back to Parker, no whistle. George has the matchup, wants a screen. Terry from inside, shot bothered.
Both teams look tired out there. Neither one getting back on defense.
Marcus Hill gets the basket down low. And a foul. That's 3 already on Soiree.
There it is. Up ahead. Layup. NC State's pushing the pace. They both need to capitalize more. And 1.
A timeout by Damon Stoudemire.
The bench. Stoudemire doesn't play too many guys anyway, so it's almost impossible for them to create a bench mob.
Part of that is because of injuries. Kawasi Reeves, Luke O'Brien, Javian McCollum, all guys that would have been part of the rotation, all injured. And it has shrunk the bench. Damon Stoudemire told me at shoot-around, Duncan Powell, with his energy and the way he plays, is a guy that ideally they'd like to bring off the bench. But they're basically down to 8 scholarship players. They don't have that luxury.
Yeah, no, I mean, they've been messing with the lineup all season long. Duncan Powell has been a great asset to this team. Having him in the starting lineup, I personally think it's helped this Georgia Tech team. But that's why I'm looking for it. There it is.
On cue.
Speaking about the shag.
Damon Stoudemire has experience, too, with a depleted roster. He mentioned in his second season, while at Pacific, went into the year with only about 8 scholarship guys, and then at one point, he said they're playing 6 guys and a walk-on, and they still finished 4th in the league. Dongo the block at the rim. There is Mustaf out to George, the ACC assist leader. Offensive rebound, Powell. Boy, Georgia Tech dominating the glass.
Powell's good down there, too, on the block. In a late game situation, they love to give him the ball on the block. And right now, you know, he finds an opportunity to get a post-up touch. He's a little undersized, but he's very, very good down there.
6 offensive rebounds, 6 second-chance points for Georgia Tech. Ishmael Doof into the game for NC State. Small lineup. We got a foul on the perimeter. It is on Darion Sutton, the redshirt freshman. And that's his second.
We got a big-time block by Dongo here. Gets it off the glass. On the other end, Powell, a little jump hook over the left shoulder. His bread and butter.
Now that's why even with the roster, with all the injuries, their big four can play with anybody. You start to ask, who could be this year's NC State? They're near the top of the conversation in the ACC.
Yeah, I think it is Georgia Tech, right? They have 2 huge wins. You know, they can beat anybody on any given night based on how they play. So they're a dangerous team. You know, they're not to be taken lightly at all. They have a legit chance to win the ACC tournament.
They've been tough at home, especially of late. 4 straight home wins. NC State 0-11 this season away from Raleigh. It's been more than a calendar year since NC State last won a true road game. Here comes O'Connell. Step back 3. No. Dongo, 8.7 rebounds. Closing in already on his 5th straight double-double.
You can mark it in the books for him for a double-double.
They're going to get a foul on Doof.
His first, 4th team foul.
Why is NC State having so much trouble defending by Dongo?
I mean, obviously the athleticism that he brings is not easy to match. But they're also not putting a body on him early, right? Every single time a shot goes up, you got to find where he's at, put a body on him, and let your teammates get the rebound.
Terry's 3 rims out. Tech 2 of 9 from deep.
And they've had some good looks. They've had the ball go halfway down and come out. You know, if they keep getting those looks, eventually it's going to fall. So NC State's got to get rid of those.
Dongo nearly stole it away.
I'd like to see Georgia Tech keep giving the ball in the post to Powell, to Dongo, and let them work out down there a little bit.
Taylor picked up the bounce. Middlebrooks with 10. He's been the bright spot for NC State, 9 points in the opening half, and maybe more importantly, no fouls.
Yeah.
Darion Sutton, no good. Rebound to Styles. Styles, catch, release, splash. Wolfpack with the lead.
Wolfpack with the lead. This is a big 6 minutes for the Wolfpack. See if they can build a little lead going into half on the road at Georgia Tech.
Styles with 8. He and Middlebrooks have combined for 17. George almost walks. Sutton, spin move, too strong. And the rebound of Paul McNeil, the freshman who erupted for 24 last Saturday in the win against Wake. Styles again, tipped by O'Connell right to Sutton. George on the drive, and a foul on the floor. 15th foul on NC State.
Wolfpack foul charge for 2. Paul McNeil Jr. is first. 15th foul.
You see Nathan George take it strong to the rim, accept the contact. 2 free throws.
Tech substitution number 3, Jaden.
Ooh, not 2 free throws on the floor.
Terry's been in a bit of a shooting slump, especially from the outside of late.
There you go. Get it down low in the post.
Size advantage for Powell. Backing down O'Connell. Middlebrooks helped, but too late.
Yeah, it was too late. Even Dongo cut to the corner. I'm surprised he brought the big fellow over there, but Powell still made it work. Brought it to the middle of the floor, spun back, was able to get 2 points.
9 points for Duncan Powell, coming off that career-high 26 on Tuesday. Taylor at 21 against Georgia Tech last year, slicing inside, turned away by Dongo.
He's barely making plays on the defensive end. Offense to defense. Hey, what a slam, Dongo!
They reward the big man for running the floor after the block on the defensive end. And it got this crowd and this Georgia Tech bench riled up. McNeil out to Middlebrooks. Down the lane. You know, early in the year, maybe that's a spot where Dongo tries to contest.
Yeah.
Maturity is knowing you're not a deep team. Don't commit the foul.
Don't commit the foul. Him and Nathan George, didn't want to commit the foul. Obviously, in a perfect scenario, they'd like to keep the ball in front, but a situation like that, it's not worth the foul.
Powell rattles into 3.
He was feeling it in warm-ups. I was watching him. He rallied off about 10 in a row. He's staying hot. He's got the hot hand. He's getting the crowd going in this, too. He's pushing this Georgia Tech team.
Dongo's got 10 and 8. Middlebrooks and Stiles, who's got the ball, have combined for 19 for the Pack. Now McNeil. 3 way off. And we get a foul on Middlebrooks, his first.
There we go. We got a big, good bucket right there by big fella. He's been, unbelievable. Then we got a block on this end by Dongo. And on the other end, slam with the one hand. He's doing it all. Georgia Tech, NC State. Georgia Tech up 3.
And boy, the light went off. Averaged 16 points, almost 13 rebounds, and about 2 blocks per game in the month of February. He's been, over the last month, one of the very best big men in the ACC.
Yeah, no, and I think, what Georgia Tech has gone through, the amount of injuries they've gone through, the up and down season, right? They're 500, they're 8-9 in the ACC. I think he looked at all those things happening and was like, hey, somebody needs to step up here. And, Dongo's been that guy.
Now talking to Bonzi Wells, one of their assistant coaches, longtime NBA vet at shoot-around. So we get a lob, a foul. The basket counts, and Middlebrooks picks up his second. So Middlebrooks, who struggled to stay out of foul trouble all season, has just picked up 2 in a short period of time.
Dongo caught that off the glass.
Huntley Hatfield in for Middlebrooks. Dongo right on his season average. He's got 12 and 8 already.
This is a really good sign for Georgia Tech. I mean, Dongo and Powell have been playing great. Nathan George hasn't had that, much of an impact on the game, and they're still up 6 points.
George has the 5 assists, but only 2 points.
They're running the floor now.
And timeout by Kevin Keats. 8 unanswered from Georgia Tech. The bench with Mustaf making the cameo. Yellow Jackets have hit 5 of their last 6. They're in control. And Wake Forest and SMU. Well, we saw NC State briefly take that lead, and Georgia Tech with a strong response, a 12-2 run.
Great run by Georgia Tech. It started on the defensive end and getting some stops.
This is where the Wolfpack are a lot different than a year ago. You needed a bucket last year. You went to one of the DJs, Burns or Horn. Who steps up now? That's big. That's Trey Parker, the freshman, who's had moments this year. 15 against Duke, career high 19 against Stanford, 13 against Louisville.
That was a big shot right there. Stop the bleeding for NC State.
Wolfpack 4 of 9 from deep. Powell. No, another offensive rebound. Guess who kept it alive? Dongo.
No surprise there.
George with 6 helpers. Right on his season average. He leads the ACC in assists. Screen and roll with Dongo. Instead, it goes to Terry. His 3 goes. He's been 0 for 4 and 6 for his last 35 from deep prior to that.
After he made that one, you could see him take a deep breath, like a big weight was lifted off his chest to see one go down.
Mustaf the steal. And the stuff.
Those are the type of plays you need to win games. Role players making defensive plays, getting out on the break and finishing.
And the 4 points by Mustaf, the only points by the Georgia Tech bench in the last 2+ games. I should say, hold on. In the last game and a half, basically. No bench points against Pitt, and he's got the only 4 today.
Lance Terry with a sniper from the outside, and Mustaf with the steal and the slam.
Duncan Powell just picked up his second. You just get the feeling for NC State that this game is at a tipping point with about 45 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about a little bit how big this last 6 minutes is to close out this first half. You know, they made a little bit of a run, and then Georgia Tech started making their were Georgia Tech were getting good looks all game, right? It was just a matter of time until those looks fell, and now they're starting to fall.
You couple that, too, with the offensive rebounding. Georgia Tech, 12 more field goal attempts and +8 overall on the glass. George to Terry, saw one fall, and now there goes another.
Yeah, now, you know, sometimes the famous saying is all it takes is one, right? All it takes is one, and you've seen another one go down.
O'Connell backing down George. 7 seconds. Styles launches. No good. Rebound, Dongo. A fitting end to the first half by Dongo with a first half double-double. 13 points, 10 rebounds, and Georgia Tech extends to an 11-point halftime lead. They really were strong in that final 6 minutes, which you said were so big.
Yeah, you know, it was huge, right? That last 6 minutes was big. Georgia Tech closed out the half strong, and that's why they left up 11.
Lot to get to in the ACC. Luke Hancock, Joel Berry, +10 points in the paint. 12-1 advantage in second to chance points. And for NC State to claw back, it's going to start with some defensive rebounding. And they're going to have to limit by Dongo, who had a double-double in the first half. And there's a start, a defensive rebound on the opening possession.
Yeah, defensive stop. You know, one stop at a time, creep back in this game. This game is not out of reach whatsoever. 11 points is not that many points, especially when you got guys like Styles shooting the ball very well. It's going to take a lot.
Nathan George, 8 assists in the opening 20 minutes. Here's Powell. Career high 26 on Tuesday. And he tornadoes inside for 2.
That's just too easy, man. They need a dig from the outside or send a double team. Duncan Powell will have a field day down there if they don't.
Marcus Hill. Now O'Connell. Styles averaging 19 a game over his last 3. Middlebrooks cleans up, and that is 13 points for Ben Middlebrooks.
He's been a real bright spot for this NC State team. He's played well tonight. Yeah, they need to keep trying to get him the ball on the offensive end because every time he touches it, something good happens.
George to Dongo, and he is fouled. And if that's Middlebrooks, it is. That is number 3, and that's been his bugaboo.
Yeah, foul trouble has hurt him. He needs to stay out of foul trouble for this team. As you can see right there, he cleans up the offensive glass.
We've seen Georgia Tech go to that pick and roll quite a bit. How do you defend that?
Well, it's a two problem equation, right? The guard can't get screened. You got to fight through the screen and have high hands once he gets through the screen, and you got to have help on the backside. You know, you got to bump and close. You got to be in the right position at the right times. I'm sure they've went over it many times how to guard this pick and roll between Nathan George and Dongo, but you know, it's easier said than done, right? Those two guys are really talented.
And Jaden Mustaf checks in for Georgia Tech. Styles, O'Connell, Taylor, Middlebrooks, and Hill, the 5 for Kevin Keats. Here is Taylor. He gets bumped by Terry, his first foul. Jaden Taylor's another one, scoreless today. He was scoreless in 23 minutes against Syracuse. Only 5 points in his previous 47 minutes coming in. This is a guy who averages 11 a game.
Yeah, he's in a bit of a slump. He needs to find a basket, an easy one, get to the foul line. Just keep being aggressive. Don't fall into being complacent with not being aggressive out there.
Mustaf picks up a foul. Mustaf battling through a foot injury, missed some time with it, still not 100%. Taylor gets his first 2.
There you go. That's a good start for him.
Now, Kevin Keats at shoot-around preached about wanting to make this a track meet. Speed Georgia Tech up. Take advantage of the Yellow Jackets' lack of depth, and Soiree, patient finish down low.
Yeah, real patient finish. I mean, it just puts them in a bind. You know, each time they're in the pick and roll, it's tough to defend. Middlebrooks can't foul. So, you know, going at him aggressively is smart for Georgia Tech.
Taylor fades. Middlebrooks the tip, no. Loose ball to Powell.
See, and it seems like that, right? The team that needs these loose balls aren't getting them. Duncan Powell comes up with a loose ball with a lot of red jerseys around him.
Taylor the counter. Terry almost poked it loose. O'Connell had a career-high 13 assists in the Wake Forest win. Terry tried to draw the foul, as Marcus Hill will be rewarded with 2 shots.
I think they got away with one right there that looked like a charge to me.
And Soiree just picked up his 4th. Coming up next, SMU against Stanford. SMU, one of Joe Lunardi's next 4 out in that group with Wake Forest. UNC, one of the first 4 out. They beat Miami today. That doesn't help you, but it certainly doesn't hurt you. And then number 2 Duke and Florida State at Cameron Indoor tonight. Right now, the ACC, a projected 3-bid league. Duke, Clemson, and Louisville, with Carolina, Wake, and SMU on the wrong side of the bubble. George drives, kicks. Mustaf backing downhill. Blocked by the shorter Hill. Shot clock at 6. Dongo on the drive and fouled, and if that's Middlebrooks, that's 4, and it is.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's losing him is hard. But again, that's a great play. Dongo's athletic. He can put the ball on the floor. He got to the rim. If you're Middlebrook, you just got to put your hands straight up. It's a foul there. It's a foul. It's on the arm.
Yeah, it's been a tough go. State had a foul trouble most of the first half, then picked up a couple of quick ones, and then 2 here in the first few minutes of the second half. He comes to the bench. The native of Quebec, Ismail Diouf, into the game. And now you probably really expect Georgia Tech to go down low and use the pick and roll with Dongo.
Yeah, you know, it's smart for Georgia Tech to go down low, use the pick and roll, get post-up touches, but NC State's got to be scrappy, send double teams, pressure the ball, do all the little things out there to make it tough for Georgia Tech to score.
Down low, Diouf, and he turns it over. Diouf really the third big behind Middlebrooks and Huntley Hatfield. For a while when Huntley Hatfield was nursing a shoulder, he was the number 2 big, but Huntley Hatfield of late has had his struggles, and Kevin Keats trying to find an answer. Poked away. Numbers for NC State. Taylor. We get a foul, and it's going to go the other way. That was a 4-on-1, and it's an offensive foul.
I mean, what a play by Lance Terry. Just giving up your body, putting it in the ref's hands to make a call. Charge or a block. One ref had the charge, one ref had the block. Oh, that's a tough call right there.
Speak to both. But again, Taylor, I feel like he should have gave an in-and-out dribble, then got back to his left hand. You know, going back to the middle, he made it. He put the play in the ref's hands. Lance Terry was able to get a call, but the feet were moving. Or probe, dribble a little bit, give your teammates enough chance to get back and make a play. Just put himself in a bind there for the referees to make a call or not. Unfortunately, they made the wrong call, but if you're Taylor, you got to do something to not put the ball in the ref's hands, especially when you got numbers like that. So the wrong call, as you point out, but as you said, it could have been a better decision.
Yeah, it definitely could have been a better decision, right? I would like to see him, put the ball in his left hand, maybe hesitation dribble, change the speed, wait for his teammates to run down the floor, just to dump the ball off for an easy layup.
It's another one of those micro snapshots of the season for NC State. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. It's been that kind of year. Mustaf denied. And Styles wincing at the end of the play. I think he got hit where you don't want to get hit.
Yeah, and the jewels. A knee, I've had that plenty of time. Doesn't feel well. Uh-oh.
The line! Oh! And Dongo with the thunder!
What a play. The display of athleticism right there.
Now they're feeling the shockwaves in Marietta. Hill. Answer not there. Doof gets it back in a backcourt violation. O'Connell was in the backcourt after Doof established position in the front court. The Wolfpack right now can't catch a break.
Can't catch a break at all. I mean, it's tough, man. They're getting unlucky plays. The ball's not bouncing their way. They're getting out hustled. But what about the slam by Dongo out the out of bounds play? 2 hands to the 1 hand. That could be on the top 10s.
Well, Georgia Tech with its largest lead of the game. 17 and 10 for Dongo. 5 straight double-doubles, 7 in the last 8 games. Used the window, missed badly. There's Breon Pass, the senior who spent his entire career with the Wolfpack. Don't say that often about many four-year seniors these days. Styles playing wingman.
Listen, their best bet might try to get Styles a shot, almost every trip down, just start hunting shots if you're Styles, you're feeling it, your team needs points, they need a momentum swing. Keep going and he takes very good shots, but just keep going.
He's got 13. Here comes the high screen and roll. Instead, Mustaf knocks down the long J. That's a jump. That's a 3-point field goal.
Yeah, and I think that's something that it is an adjustment by NC State, right? Doubling the pick and roll, making sure they slide over with Dongo. They make the right read for Mustaf to hit the 3.
O'Connell whistled for the offensive foul. Only the 9th 3 of the season for Mustaf. They say the foul now is on Huntley Hatfield. It's his first. Does NC State have a push? Georgia Tech has won 4 straight at home. The Wolfpack winless outside of Raleigh this season. 0-9 in true road games, 0-2 on neutral courts. Terry drops it off to Dongo, who's got 19.
What a play by Terry. He could have went up and tried to force the up and under layup, but found Dongo down low. Great decision by Terry. It's good to see him playing well. It's great for his confidence, knocking down some threes, making plays on the defensive end, driving and dumping off layups.
Taylor hunts his shot and hits. $11 assists for George, only 2 points today. Hasn't needed to be a scorer. That time he should have. Instead, it's Powell who misfires. I think he was surprised how open he was in the paint.
Yeah, just missed it.
Breon pass with 2 shots coming.
Tech foul charge to number 3, Jaden Mustaf, his second, 4th team foul.
A second foul on Mustaf.
Breon pass to the line, shooting 2.
The Ally ACC Women's Basketball Tournament begins Wednesday in Greensboro. We'll have all the first and second round games, as well as 2 of the quarterfinal matchups right here on ACCN and the ESPN app. Coverage gets underway a little after noon at 12:30 Eastern with the Nothing But Net crew. One out of 2 for pass, and now a little backcourt pressure. We've seen George get more rest in this game than the last 6 games combined. Well, they've been able to do that because Dongo has carried the team offensively. 21 points, 10 rebounds by Dongo, 5 points now from a career high. Styles fouled by Terry, his second.
I couldn't see that play, but I'm wondering if there was a little bit of a makeup call from the last charge. The pick and roll that's worked so well. Man, that mid-range touch is so tough.
Careless turnover by McNeil. There's Powell. Styles tries to stay with him. The block and the foul.
That's a good strong move by Powell. He had the guy on his hip, took a couple dribbles, got off 2 feet, and went up strong for the layup. On balance, strong. Man, he's a really good player.
He really emerged as a glue guy for this team. Now, Damon Stoudemire likes the fact that at 6'8", he's not really a 4, he's not really a 3, but he said what he is a mismatch.
He's absolutely a mismatch, and even I've watched him post up bigger guys down there, right? Like, he can do a little bit of everything. When you got a guy that can score in the post and knock down the 3, it's hard to put, if you put a guard on him, he posts up and he gets easy looks. If you put a big on him, it's hard for a big to stay on the outside and cover him on the 3-point line. So he is a matchup out there.
16 for Duncan Powell, Sacramento State transfer. Damon Stoudemire says the more I play him, the better he gets. Tech with its largest lead. Corner 3 drops for Breon pass. Now with George on the bench, if you're NC State, do you get a little more aggressive with your full court pressure?
I think so. I think you got to keep being aggressive. I really think, just watching this NC State team, man, if they could pick it up on the defensive end and then shoot the ball, whoever's open, shoot the 3, shoot a lot of 3s, I think they'd be a lot better off.
He's been the maestro. He leads the ACC in assists, and over the last month he's become a pretty good scorer too. Came into the game averaging almost 20 a game over his last 8. Talking to him earlier today, he credits a lot of his success to assistant coach Nate Babcock. He said from the moment that George stepped foot on campus, the two of them did a ton of work, one-on-one, film study, how to diagnose a defense. They talk a lot about managing a game, sometimes knowing when you're not a deep team, when to run, when to take a shot that could lead to a run out, so you be more patient, manipulating the shot clock, things like that. And I said, where would you be without Nate Babcock? He said, that guy has done so much for my growth as a basketball player. And listen, Nathan George is about the closest thing to indispensable for Georgia Tech as there is. The guy, notwithstanding today, usually plays all 40 minutes.
100%, and Nate has a lot of great experience. He's coached a lot of great guys. You know, he's unbelievable for Nathan George, and kudos to Nathan George as well, right? Like in a game where you can't really find your rhythm scoring, he goes out and he has 11 assists. I think that's the definition of a really, really great player. When things aren't falling for you, you can still affect the game in every other way.
Now, first guy out today, Nathan George. Guess who's with him? Nate Babcock. Parker with three. Step back. Short. Powell wins the battle for the loose ball.
Georgia Tech's fighting over loose balls with each other. You know, you don't even see red jerseys around the loose ball.
George continues to get an extended breather on the bench. Terry open. He was in a 6 for 35 shooting slump from three. He's now made 3 in a row.
All it takes is one. And listen, if he starts being consistent with his three ball, this Georgia Tech team goes to another level. He's really the key to this team. Duncan Powell's going to give you that effort every single night. Dongo's going to give you his. Nathan George is going to contribute. If Lance Terry can keep on shooting the ball well, that gives them another element of something really special.
Basket by McNeil after Georgia Tech took its biggest lead of the game. Mustaf at the point. Ripped away by Dongo. Now finally, it's taken away by Dennis Parker. McNeil the other way, through the D, +1.
Technical charge to number 0. Lance Terry is third. 16 foul.
Here's NC State. McNeil Jr. and 1. Another look at it here. Splits the double team and 1. Great take. Good strong layup. Old-fashioned three-point play.
Kevin Keats was looking for a spark going into that Wake Forest game. He starts McNeil last Saturday, freshman first career start. 4 threes, career high 24 points. Young man from Rockingham, North Carolina, where he was a prolific high school basketball player. Out of bounds off George, so the pressure by NC State pays dividends.
Yeah, giving them a little bit of issues here. Full court press.
Pass, tried to force it to Huntley Hatfield, kick ball. It stays with NC State, shot clock back to 20. NC State, a Final Four team last year, now in the bottom 3 of the ACC. Just trying to get into the ACC tournament. The bottom 3 do not make it as we get another foul on Georgia Tech. It's on Dongo. And it puts NC State in the bonus.
Brandon Huntley Hatfield to the line, shooting 2.
According to playoffstatus.com, NC State entered the day with a 23% chance of getting into the ACC tournament. A win today would have bumped up their odds to 43%. A loss drops you down to 10%. And if NC State were to lose, a win by Wake Forest and Cal tonight would eliminate NC State from consideration for the ACC tournament.
Yeah, they can only control. They can control. They got 10 minutes. They're down 11. They just got to worry about winning their ball game and stopping this man with the ball.
Dongo recovers. Shot clock at 5. Mustaf with 4. Back to Dongo, left alone, and the feathery touch glanced off the side of the rim. Parker accelerates. Throws it back, almost a turnover. McNeil contested, no. Dongo tracks. Timeout, Damon Stoudemire, perhaps sensing his team getting a little tired. 9:02 to go in the second half.
Good timeout.
NC State right now in that bottom 3. Wolfpack have clawed back into this game, a 7-0 run, and you mentioned it, it started with defense.
Yeah, I mean, it all starts in the defensive end for them, excuse me. When they're scrappy, playing with their hands, playing hard, keeping the ball in front, they're a tough team.
Nifty move by Mustaf. He's got 9.
That was a tough move right there. Good defense, better offense.
I'll make it 11 for Mustaf. Parker directing traffic. And the 3 is good. That's Dennis Parker. Battled through some ankle issues early in the season. Lead is 10. Hey, if there's one team that's comfortable, and I use those words in quotations, playing from its, with its back to the wall, it's NC State.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they've had their back against the wall a bunch.
Shot clock at 2, and Powell somehow gets it over Huntley Hatfield.
He knows how to go and get a bucket.
18 for Powell. Trey Parker, no. Huntley Hatfield, the rebound, missed it. Parker gets it back, able to draw the foul. Does that play where Huntley Hatfield gets the rebound, does that tell you it's in its head a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we need to see more of NC State. Get those loose balls, right? Like those 50-50 balls, they got to get every single one.
Has 11 assists to tie a career high, and bench production, it's a bonus when you get it. Mustaf has given Georgia Tech that, and he's done a lot of it in the second half. Yeah, I mean, Mustaf has played great on the offensive end and on the defensive end. He's also made some really good passes as well. If he can keep this play up, again, it just gives Georgia Tech another element, to trust a guy like him to come up with 10 points if need be. And he's given Damon Stoudemire the ability to rest George. At times, Mustaf has handled the point. Yeah, I mean, you can see, I think that speaks a lot about Mustaf, of how important he is to the team, right? Stoudemire knows that he needs to get the ball into Mustaf's hands to let him create a little bit as well, so they have another element to this team. 1 out of 2 for Parker, and it's Mustaf with the rebound. If NC State is going to come back, what's the formula? They need to get stops. They need to string together 3 or 4 stops in a row. They need to convert on their stops. They need to get out on the fast break, and they need to hit some threes. A dribbling by Mustaf. No good on the pull-up. And we get a whistle on NC State.
That's a tough call right there. That looked like a box out to me.
Second foul on Parker. It puts Tech to the free throw line. A 1-and-1 for Baidongo. 22 points, a dozen rebounds for Dongo. 11th double-double of the season, 17th of his career.
I'm just saying, I haven't done a game of his yet that he hasn't had above 20 and above 10 rebounds.
He has played at a first-team all-conference level since February. They were waiting for him early in the season, and then the light switch went off in February, and it stayed on. Pass, no good on the three. Offensive rebound, Hill. Ball was tipped. Here comes George. Mustaf. Powell. Blocked from behind. The hustle by pass. Here's Parker. The lob to Dennis Parker. No, Dongo pulls it away. Terry's got Powell behind him. Takes it himself. And the foul.
That's a tough possession for Georgia Tech. I mean, for NC State. You know, they had numbers they couldn't convert, and they gave up an and one. Can't give up and ones. If you're gonna foul, make sure he doesn't get the and one.
Hey. Free throw, no good. Middlebrooks back out there for the pack. He was productive offensively, 13 points and 6 rebounds, but picked up foul number 3 and 4 early in the second half. Styles, baseline fall away, no. Tipped. Powell secures. A 3 here, and Georgia Tech matches its biggest lead of the game, 18. George, 1 assist from a new career high. Doesn't get it there. Offensive rebound, Dongo. Blocked from behind and fouled by Middlebrooks. And that is number 5 for Ben Middlebrooks. He's done.
Man, Dongo is working down there. It's not enough to just jump with him. You got to box him out. See there, they both just jump for the ball. Dongo's more athletic. Got to get him out the paint.
If Georgia Tech can keep Nathan George and Baidongo, and in Baidongo's case, if you lose Baidongo, you might lose him to the pros.
Yeah, you know, for me, you know, if he leaves, he's going to the pros. He's got great potential, man. He's putting up the numbers. He's making a very good case why he should be a first-round pick. You know, he has a good tournament run. He plays well in the ACC tournament. We might be seeing him in the big leagues next year.
Yeah, the Nothing But Net crew will be in Greensboro for the ACC Women's Tournament starting Wednesday on ACC Network. Pre-game, halftime, post-game covered by the Nothing But Net crew. 25 points for Dongo. And yeah, here's the thing now. With NIL money, sometimes you can convince a player to come back for another year if that's on the table. But if Damon Stoudemire starts next season with George and Dongo as your foundational pieces, and you build around that, they're going to be one of the top teams in the ACC.
Absolutely. They definitely will be.
And Georgia Tech might be putting this away.
Yeah, they're running away with this now. They're putting them to bed. Zip them up.
20 points for Powell. He's got back-to-back 20-point games. And Nate George with a new career high with 12 assists.
And they can have Powell come back next year as well. He's only a junior this year. He'll be a senior next year. They're not. They get a real knockdown shooter you know, they're looking at, you know, a real ranked team.
NC State imploding. George missed the dunk. Powell has his back.
Get your bounce up, son. He's laughing about it. Everybody has those moments. He just wanted to give Powell a little,
Those four can carry an offense, and they're seen as a team that could be in the ACC tournament what NC State was last year. Obviously, the one thing they don't have is depth. You played for Jim Boeheim, who was notorious for going 6, 7 deep sometimes. The starters, much like Georgia Tech right now, played heavy minutes. Is depth overrated?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really, the depth only really affects you when you get in foul trouble, right? If they can stay out of foul trouble, then I don't think.
Well, that's why you played zone, right?
Exactly. So, like, when you get into foul trouble, it hurts you a lot. But I think as far as fatigue, as far as, you know, if everybody stays out of foul trouble, I don't think it affects you too much.
And meanwhile, NC State has put up the white flag here. Dongo with a career-high 27. Been a long and trying season for the Wolfpack, and the odds are about to shrink even further. NC State will not officially be eliminated from the ACC tournament with a loss, but their odds of getting there dropped from 23% coming in to now 10% after this game. And if Notre Dame, which is a little injury riddled as well with Braden Shrewsbury now out for the year, Notre Dame finds a way to beat Wake and Cal beats BC tonight, that would be it for NC State.
Notre Dame's not beating Wake Forest tonight, no way. I love watching Wake Forest, man. Hunter Silas, such a good player.
Yeah, they've just had a couple of ill-timed hiccups for a team on the bubble, losing to Virginia, losing to NC State.
Yeah, not very good losses there.
George wide open.
It's been that kind of day for him shooting. Like I said, he's career high in assists. He's been dropping dimes everywhere. So he's definitely been contributing to this offense.
O'Connell, no good on the three. Dongo, rebound number 16. Gustav's runner, not close. NC State finishes with Pittsburgh on Wednesday and then at Miami on the final weekend of the regular season. Georgia Tech gets Miami here and then closes at Wake Forest. Wild shot by Terry. Hurd swivels around to George. 2.5 to go. Georgia Tech will get to 500 in league play with all the injuries. Dongo blocked, recovers, exclamation point.
With the left hand slam.
Styles back rim. NC State has missed 11 of its last 12 And Damon Stoudemire says, slam the brakes.
Slow it down. Nathan George wanted to keep pushing the pace.
Timeout by Damon Stoudemire, by Dongo.
Everything tonight, a 3-ball from the corner. He's had, offensive rebounds, tip-ins, 29 and 18 tonight with a nice turnaround, just showing off all his moves, catching alley-oops. He's caught him left hand, right hand. He's doing it all. He's in position. He's at the right place at the right time. Career night for him. He's something special.
Couple of walk-ons in there for Georgia Tech. Emmer Nichols from Woodside, California, and Marcos San Miguel. Nichols 35, knocks down the triple. That's the first 3 of his career. How much did you used to get a kick out of it? End of a blowout game when a walk-on hits a big shot.
Oh man, it's unbelievable. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite moments in sports.
You see how hard those guys work and practice and shoot around and behind the scenes.
Every single day, man. They come in, they sacrifice. They work as hard as just as anybody else. They give you different looks all year long. And they never get the glory for it. So, to come out here and to get some appreciation and score the ball is something special.
Now it's San Miguel who has the ball. 4 career points, 2 career field goals. He's not giving this up. Turned it over. Almost did. He saw his fellow walk-on get one. He wanted one too.
He wanted a bucket bad. I wanted him to get the bucket too.
Taylor with a 3. Knocked out of bounds to Georgia Tech. A 20-6 game-ending run by the Yellow Jackets over the last 7 minutes. Damon Stoudemire's team has now won 6 out of 8. Could they be this year's version of what NC State was last year?
Yeah, I don't see why not, right? If they all come to play, they could make a real run, have a few upsets in the ACC tournament. They're prime right now. They're playing well. It's not, sometimes it's when you put it all together, and that's what they're doing right now.
Meanwhile, NC State's season hangs by a thread of Moroccan silk. Now 4-14 in conference play, in the bottom 3, in danger of missing the ACC tournament. They need a lot of help over the final week of the regular season and need some help tonight. Time to get you to the farm. It's SMU and Stanford. Chris Sylvester and Ben Braun with the call.